Do you like the Dreamcast? I love the Dreamcast and I am on a mission to complete every single game on the system. There are almost 300 English language releases and I want you to join me on my adventure to completing them all. I'm so dedicated I'm even gonna play American football games. I don't know how to play American football games. Last week I completed Shinseki Evangelion Advance. This week we're heading to the Super Bowl. Initially when I did the random pick it came up as NFL 2K, but you know what? To do everyone a favor, I decided to do all the NFL 2K games together in one video. That's NFL 2K, NFL 2K1 and NFL 2K2. They are in the same series, the journey is going to be kind of the same. But don't you worry you football animals, because there are still a few more American football games to cover later on if the RNG gods hate me so. They're just a different series. So yeah, firstly, these were part of the Sega Sports series. Sega, amongst many other affiliations, were often associated with high-quality sports titles. Now, I'm equally clueless about ice hockey, but damn, even I played them on my cousin's Mega Drive. They were awesome. And Sega did a push for these on the Dreamcast. As I've said, I know absolutely nothing about American football, like literally nothing. I like sports, and during my teenage years, I decided one time, I'll stay up until the early hours of the morning to check out the Super Bowl, see what it's all about. It was like 2 a.m. I was ready. They kicked off, the ball went out of boundaries, and instantly it went to an ad break. I was out. So yeah, I've seen about 5 seconds of live American football, so this was trepidatious to say the least. For these games, I could have done a whole season, but to spare everyone's sanity and my watch time, we can go straight for the Super Bowl, okay? If someone put a gun to my head and said complete these properly, they probably wouldn't accept this situation, but I would accept a bullet to the brain. My first time of trying, is it bad of me to admit I didn't even know which team I was controlling? This is like a serious grandpa gamer moment. I didn't know who I was. After needing to fiddle with the emulator a bit to get it running properly, I did get a bit of practice in how this works. From my scientific conclusion, American football is a bit like rugby. It's a fairly simple game that they've tried to make more complicated with impenetrable and, dare I say, annoying terminology. For those who also know nothing, you get this ball, right? One team has control. They kick off, pass it backwards, and then the dude throws it to a runner. The runner catches it, and because there are way too many people on the pitch, it's natural he's gonna get absolutely clobbered. They get body slammed by giants. They get their feet grabbed by little goblins. At the end of the day, they're gonna make a bit of progress, but they're coming down against their will. I think as long as they keep on the ball, you can go again. You push up the field and try again, inching towards the goal. I believe, but have not scientifically proven, if the runner fumbles the ball and drops it, or the opponent catches the ball instead, then the play is switched. The other team do this and you have to stop them. Hopefully you get a runner free to leg it down the field and score a touchdown. That's kind of it. But then there's this nonsense of formation thing, each with ridiculously dumb names made up by 40-year-old alcoholic PE teachers whose dreams were crushed for not making it to the big time. I mean, what kind of names are these? Personally, I like to stick with Ben and Jerry's right hook flanking third. It worked a treat for me every time. You should have seen me when I got the 4/5 of the second and third in the first light of the 5th day. As I came from the east, they didn't stand a chance. As you kick off, you can see button inputs as to which runner you want to throw to, and you get it down the field. I guess there is some method to the madness, especially in real life, but in video game form, played by a moron, any will do. So, in NFL 2K, it's the Super Bowl. It's the Chiefs versus the Vikings. I'm guessing one is Minnesota and the other is from the Sunshine Band. And it appears I'm the Vikings, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Again, to save everyone's sanity, I popped down the game's time, because let's face it, the only thing it's going to affect is everyone's sanity. There is a coin flip, and I choose Tails because he's an underrated Sonic character, and maybe I win. There's then an option to choose kick or receive, but I didn't really do anything. I then get to choose north or south. I didn't realize this took place during the Civil War, but let's keep going. To kick off, you need to give the ball to your opponent in the most annoying way you can think of. They grab it and charge off to my goal. I'm on the defense to begin with. The formations I'm choosing are literally at random because they have no meaning to me. I don't know how they're supposed to help or in which situation. It's just, which one takes my fancy in this moment. They make a fumble and it drops to the floor, which I assumed would mean it's my turn, but they still end up with it. They're now kicking it for some reason. Ah, that's why it's called football, for that 0.1% of the game where they use their foot. It's kicked like an idiot out of bounds, which means it's my turn to start attacking, I think. It's interesting that despite it going out of bounds, you then take possession from not quite central of the pitch. Why are we like slightly off center? That's really annoying. I mean, I'm not even like obsessive compulsive. I'm an F it that'll do kind of guy, but this annoys me. You should either be at the sides where the ball went out or back in the middle. Or maybe they don't care and it's pretty carefree. Who knows what they're thinking? They're drunk. There's a decent throw over to Reed, who instantly gets clobbered. The next two throws aren't great. I think it bounced off one of my guys' heads, but I'm still in possession for whatever reason. I'm not making much progress, let's say that. And unfortunately, there is an interception by O'Neal, and to think I liked SG1. So play is definitely switched and I'm trying to stop them. After not making much progress, they decided to kick it for whatever reason, giving it back to me and allowing myself to take a charge at them. And this just might be the greatest horror game ever made. Forget zombies, forget Lovecraftian monsters, how about having 11 overweight giants charging at you? I was a bit scared, I have to admit, and I didn't get far. I was just so scared. I'm not making much progress, but I'm feeling that going wide is my best option. And slowly, ever so slowly, I encroach on the goal, and one sweet pass up to Carter, who comes in round the back like the cheeky chappy that he is, gives me my first touchdown. And we get in an embarrassing celebration where he becomes a 7-year-old boy thinking he's badass. Now, I just thought play would switch. But no, you can keep going. Like an inch away from the goal, you have another go. Punch them while they're down. However, Smith, he let me down, bro. Next, we have the strangest kind of kickoff. Let's just kick it sideways and see what happens. I don't know the purpose of this, but I'm on the defensive now. But halftime saves my blushes, and the kickoff, well, I catch it, but then I panic again because there are meaty flesh bags thundering towards me, and it feels like my teammates aren't really doing much. There are equal number guys, why are there so many after me? Again, slowly making my way up the field, I get in a great throw to my man Moss, who certainly does not live up to his name. Ain't no moss growing on this fast boy. He doesn't quite get over the line, but he puts me in a good position. I try my sneaky reach around, and I get another touchdown with Glover. I hope that's Danny Glover, because that would make it even more badass. My second chance doesn't pay off again though. It's pretty quickly that I'm back in possession thanks to a great interception made by Alfred Hitchcock. I always wondered what he did after dying. I think I'm getting the hang of this, guys. Really think I am. The randomness is settling down in my brain, and Danny Glover, it turns out, isn't just a lethal weapon in the movies, he's a lethal weapon on the pitch too. Although to be fair, they're number 58. What are you doing, man? Get him off. And finally this time, my second chanceroo pays off and Danny does it again. Although he embarrasses himself with an awful celebration. It's 20-0 at this point in the final quarter, so I'm feeling confident that this trophy will be mine. In fact, I'm so defensive at this point, the opponents get bored and decide to just kick it like a petulant child. At which point, we get the throw of the game straight down the middle to Reed, who's against their number 58, Thomas. I told you to take him off the pitch. Liability. And what a run from Reed, who apparently gets MVP just for that one thing. Danny Glover's probably getting his revolver ready as we speak. I'm back in possession with 20 seconds to go, and I can just let the clock tick down. Take my time. I guess there's no stoppage time in American football. So yeah, the Super Bowl is mine. Not bad for a clueless British guy. Have the Vikings ever won the Super Bowl? This could be historic. And that's NFL 2K done. But we're not done with this video because we need to tackle the two other 2K games on the system. So let's do that quickly. Same kind of rules, straight to the Super Bowl. We're in Tampa Bay, Florida. It's the Buccaneers versus the Jaguars. I think I'm the Buccaneers. I did record this footage a month ago, so who knows at this point. I get the kickoff and immediately kick it off the pitch, which is apparently illegal. And they accept the penalty. Like, what? You can choose? I don't think this was in the first game because that would have been a pain in my ass because I don't know the rules. How am I supposed to know if I'm breaking them? And apparently I'm breaking them a lot in this game. Also, a seemingly new feature, or one that's like now defaulted on, the first scrum, their number 28 gets his arse taken down by an injury. He didn't last 3 official seconds. Even I couldn't put a positive spin on that. And apparently there's another penalty, but from them, and I get to accept or decline. Well, obviously I want to accept, why wouldn't I? But I don't know what happened, like, nothing changed. I didn't get any points or anything. Alright, I don't know. Anyways, after defending for a bit, they got a bit bored and booted it upfield, which my Abraham, truly now do I believe he's a prophet, did his greatest feat ever with this run up the field for a touchdown.
45, the 40, out in front of everybody, the 25, the 10,
Sadly, I didn't get seconds. It then became a war of attrition. It didn't help that I forgot to change the game length, so this one felt like it was going on forever, but they got 3 points back with a kick, and early in the second quarter, they got another kick to make it 6-6, and it's a disaster. They get a touchdown and the kick. Now, I could probably make a comeback here, but I'm really having a lot of trouble with this one compared to the first one, because there's just something about the throwing that is way harder. Like previously, it was magnetic pretty much, but I think they upped the realism and I'm struggling to make my throw stick. Probably it would have been fine, but coming straight off the back of something very arcadey, it was hard to get the hang of it. So I decided to reset and also change the game time. Sorry Abraham, your amazing run is being deleted from history. You'll have to remain a prophet of religious stuff instead. It took until the second half of the second quarter to get a touchdown and a nice dose of seconds. But after some sloppy marking and one hell of a run, the Jags are knocking on the door.
the 40, the 25, the 10.
And they squeeze one in. I'm still 2 points ahead in the third quarter, but just on the whistle to end the quarter, they get in a kick. 9-8 to them. We're in the final quarter. It's kickoff, and then this happens.
It's picked up. No one in front of him. 40, the 25. And he's in for a touchdown. Sean Johnson.
My man Johnson. It's 14-9, baby. And with only a couple of minutes to go, I go in for the kill. My man Johnson, once again with a great catch and a run, and I get in seconds as well. I've got one toe on the trophy. At this point, I decide to just waste time. No funny business, no risks. But hey, you can't stop that man Johnson. Another one in the bag, and another second. The final score, 39. Suckers. The Buccaneers have won the Super Bowl. Have they ever won the Super Bowl? I don't know. Next up, NFL 2K2. This was released well after Sega announced they were giving up on console development. So even though it released on the Dreamcast first, it was also released on the Xbox and PS2. Don't forget it was published by Sega, and the 2K brand kind of belonged to them before Visual Concepts, the developer, was bought by Take-Two from Sega, but this was still Sega's baby right now. And this one got a bit of a visual overhaul in the menus this time. It's the Eagles versus the Jets. A lot of flying going on today. I'm the Eagles, I think. I kick off and get penalized. How? I don't know. Once again, it starts off as a war of attrition since I just can't get a hold of the throwing. It's even more difficult this time around. Okay, maybe not difficult, just different to the thing I played 5 minutes ago. I just haven't adjusted yet, so it gets so bad that eventually I get to kick it. I'm assuming this happens if you start taking the piss. The ref's like, okay, enough's enough, just kick it away, guys. I'm not gonna lie, this is possibly the worst American football game in history. The biggest letdown, and I'm pretty sure the crowd would have rioted in real life until the closing moments of the final quarter. The Jets get in a kick and a win. A disaster, so I have to start again. But it's kind of better. I get a nice touchdown in the final moments of the first quarter just by edging closer and closer to their goal. And finally, in the third quarter, I get one hell of a run from Thrash after the Jets kick off.
30, 45, the 40, out in front of everybody, the 25, 10, and he's in with a touchdown. James Thrash had a...
Now that is metal. After that, I decided to run down the clock and win 14-0. The Eagles have won the Super Bowl, and I've won it 3 times over NFL 2K, 2K1, and 2K2. Consider them complete, please. So what do I think of them in terms of the end review? I'm grouping them all together because they're essentially the same stuff. In terms of fun, I'm giving them a 7. I'm quite won over by the concept of American football. It's a decent game surrounded by ridiculous pomp, and I don't think I'd ever be able to watch it due to how stop-start it is, but as a video game, it's pretty cool. I'd also give a 7 to the presentation. That's pretty good as well. The players look decent. There's some okay animation and commentary. In terms of difficulty, well, after getting to grips with it, how to play the damn thing, getting used to the different throwing physics, eventually, I guess it was quite easy on the default setting, so I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my Patreon supporters for supporting me. Not only do you get loads of bonus things, but you also get to watch these videos early. You can watch the next one right now. And what is it? Well, it's Rainbow Cotton. But here's a small thing. I also need to do Skies of Arcadia and Dino Crisis, but I've pretty much completed them already, and I don't fancy doing either of them again, like so soon. So in the playlist, like exclusively on the playlist, I've done an edited down versions of those two, slightly altered. They're also on Patreon, but yeah, you can watch those there if you're wondering why there's like a sudden jump in numbers when next week comes around. But that one, the next real one, is Rainbow Cotton, and it's available on the Patreon right now, okay? Special thanks to my super producers, Alexander Cato, Brent McLean, FF14 Best RPG, Vey, Sven Nowlertz, Wixit, Josh Foot, and Germonic.